MGTOW monk.
Don't mess with the monk, he will monk you up. Hey, MGTOW monks, welcome to the channel. I want to talk about a topic that all MGTOW monks have to deal with, and all MGTOW men, and that is the thirst. The thirst. You know what I'm talking about. When you have that ache, you have that need, and nothing can quench it. There is a need for fulfilling that thirst, that drive, that urge to be relieved by women. And it seems like when you have it on your mind, nothing will stop it. So for a lot of MGTOW men, especially if you're under 40, this can be overwhelming and often will derail any attempts to be MGTOW. There's just so much risk in fulfilling that thirst. You can get sperm jacked, you can accidentally get someone pregnant, you can have a clawing, needy girlfriend jump out of nowhere. And yet, if you truly are alpha and show women that you are a free spirit, then they will pick up on that, they'll recognize that, and suddenly you are not the beta provider. You are the one who jumps in, gets what you need from the woman, and leaves. So one of the questions is, how does a monk deal with the thirst? And really, one of the key things is you have to understand that the thirst changes as you get older. It's always there. It'll always be present in one form or another. But you're not a slave to it. With some mental discipline, the thirst can be managed, especially as you hit 40. And for a lot of MGTOW men, it does take probably at least until you get to be 35 before you've had enough experiences that lead you to the MGTOW path, although it can happen earlier. So, if you love the company of women and you need to fulfill your thirst, well, you can still be MGTOW, but you won't be a MGTOW monk. So the question is there a difference in advantage? Is there a difference in how you live your life? And I think there is. And the principal one being, you may be on the surface level happier as a non-monk, and you may feel balanced and be able to be quite content with your life of conquest. However, you have to look at the total amount of energy that's going into fulfilling that thirst. Now, if you come from a PUA background and you can pull women effortlessly, this isn't an issue for you. You are probably living a life as a plain MGTOW with all the benefits, or close to all the benefits, of a MGTOW monk. However, if you are spending hours and hours seeking women, seeking to quench that thirst, then you're going to have a much less fulfilled life, and you're going to just be diverting so much of your personal energy to the thirst. And a lot of it comes down to mental discipline and versus need. If you do go full monk, and many men do at all ages, then you can, I would put it this way, the longer you have managed your thirst, the less it's omnipresent in your mind. And the more repulsed you are by knowing the true nature of women, the less the thirst can override it. So with those two polarities, you have a good shot of finding a path that leads to a greater peace, a greater calm, a very different way to be in the world. It is a difficult process because we are built with eyes to see the beauty of women, and we are focused on that conquest and that longing, and they're all around us. But if you take the time to listen to what a lot of these women have to say, or learn about their moral background, or learn about their, as Terrence Popp would say, miles of cock that they've enjoyed, suddenly they seem more like a dead carcass with flies on it than they do like anything attractive. That really takes peering deep, because with makeup and with fashion and with their initial chameleon behavior, they seem so great. They seem so wonderful. And it's so nice to hold them, and cuddle them, and hug them, and kiss, and then they can fulfill your thirst, and everything just seems to work, right? What's the problem? There's also trouble, even if you can pull effortlessly, because some of these will end up being psycho, some will pursue you endlessly, some might just attack you right there, some might have crazed boyfriends who might attack, others might try to wreck your workplace and your reputation, others might cry rape. There's a lot of possibilities there that aren't positive. So you might go, well, I know how to protect myself, and this world isn't that bad, and not all women are like that. There are certainly a lot of good, fun women, especially outside of America. So let me take a very different path with MGTOW monk. There is a level of reward. There is a level of, I don't want to say peace, because it's bigger than that. It's a joyful dwelling in the world. There's a joyous dwelling where your facticity of being part of the earth and part of nature and part of the experience can lead to a joy and an inner radiance, an inner glow of energy, and a mental focus and clarity that will bring you to a new space, a new existence, and a new vision of reaching your goals. And that's something, I think, if you are effortlessly being a pua, that you're not going to know about. You're not going to have that. And you will find that you are distracted, and that you go from job to job or project to project, and you don't have good focus, and you're kind of torn in a lot of directions, and maybe you are having trouble reaching goals. But if you jump, and let's say you try it just for a month, 30 days, like the Seinfeld bet, right? 30 days. If you do that, and I'm not saying you have to avoid self-pleasure, just pleasure with women. If you do that, you might just be surprised what happens to your brain. It's kind of like what vegans say if they get rid of the dairy and the cheese and the meat. After a while, they get a certain different kind of vibration, a different peace that comes through. It's the same thing when you become your self-actualized whole being, without this grasping to the outside, without this need of contentment from others, without the thirst, the ever-present thirst. Like, wouldn't it be great to have that thirst conquered forever? Just to be done with it? It's a very different way of being in the world. It's a level of freedom, but also it's a quiet that leads to a great openness that helps you find nature and your own Godhead, I think they call it, your own inner spirit, your own sense of deity within, as above, so below, the manifestation of God, verily ye are the gods, this true spirit that the frenetic pace of life in the everyday has shut down. And it's no wonder that America, as a true slave nation, enforces taxation on you on worldwide income, and that it's the only country that does that. And it's also one of the only countries that shuts down all psychedelic use, because they want to control your vision of the world. They want to control your perception of reality, and they certainly don't want you to realize that you're within a slave grid and that you're just a sheep. You're just a sheep being milked and fleeced and eventually killed. So, not everyone can achieve the life that a monk has, but if you try, if you get past the anger and you go, now what? What's left in life? What's left to live for? I'm a free being. What are my goals? Is it just to be happy? Is it just to enjoy sex? Is it just to what? And a lot of that is creation. And I think once your brain gets fully juiced up, your mind will shift to creating, and your creative outlets will explode, not in one level or one direction, but in 100 ways. And you will find this renewed, intense longing to produce and take everything further than it's ever been taken, thought better than it's ever been thought, do more than ever has been done. If you're an explorer, you'll have this urge to explore more than you've ever thought possible. Climb the mountains, swim the seas, ride the air balloons, whatever it is. And you might just call this your vim, your internal energy. And managing that energy quotient and not expending it in sex or with women is a large strength that will bring you through the world to achieving much, much more. Well, that's my notes on the thirst. I hope you enjoyed the MGTOW Monk channel. Please hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video. Please hit the subscribe button if you are already not a subscriber. And look in the description for a link to our Patreon, and think about becoming a supporter to get special videos and other bonuses that others will not see publicly. Thanks very much, and I hope you enjoyed this video.